Three things clog your soul: negativity, judgment, and imbalance. Everyday Wisdom by Dr. Wayne Dyer, page 7. Soul is a very esoteric term that gets thrown around a lot in conversation, but can we ever really define what it is? Some say soul is the immortal, immaterial aspect of yourself. To me, soul is all about energy. I'd say soul is the pure loving energy that defines you, defines your spirit, and your essence as a being. This energy is always flowing, even if you can't feel it. Some are more in tune with this loving energy than others, and I would say growing up, I've been a person who's been out of tune with this type of energy. It doesn't come naturally at all to me. As a person who's been unaware of this for pretty much the majority of my entire life, understanding the blockages in my energy flow has been essential in my spiritual journey. The first thing that blocks your soul is negativity. I used to be a very negative and pessimistic person. I never really questioned these beliefs, and I thought that the way that I viewed the world was the way that it actually was: a terrible place full of hatred, evil, and anger. But the more that I learned, the more that I realized that my perception of the world is simply a reflection about how I feel about myself on the inside. I realized that I was projecting my hatred towards myself, my fear, my lack of love onto the outside world. It was all just in my imagination. It was all in my mind. I didn't love myself, so I perceived a lack of love in the world around me. But this love has always been there, whether you can perceive it or not, and will always be there, inside you and outside of you. But I had to be in tune with this love. I had to learn to get on the same level as it, as to vibrate on the same wavelength, to truly feel and experience it. Now, this isn't to say that there aren't bad things going on in the world, but you're never going to be able to turn a negative into a positive by being negative. I can see now, looking back on it, how this negativity was really blocking my energy flow. I was really resisting everything that happened around me. Anything that happened to me, positive or negative, good or bad, quickly became a negative, as I'd been habitually thinking to look on the darker side of everything. And I've really been ingraining it as a habit to learn to look on the bright side or see the value or the learning lesson that each situation has. And this has been extremely helpful in kind of reprogramming my mind to be more positive, which has made a huge difference. And through meditation, I slowly became able to observe my thoughts objectively and to detach from them and realize that I'm able to choose their meaning. They don't have any objective meaning. It's what you give them. It's the energy that you feed them. And I realized that being an habitually negative person would not get me far in life, and it would only lead to more sadness, fear, and anger than it would lead to happiness, inner peace, and self-love, which are the values that I decided that I really wanted in my life. The second thing that blocks your soul is judgment. Judgment is something that seems to come so naturally to all of us, but where did we really learn this habit? Why do we view situations as being good or bad when we can't really see the big picture? All judgment is really just a story our mind tells us, and it's up to us to choose whether to believe these thoughts, these stories, or not. Once I started meditating, the more I started to view my thoughts more non-judgmentally and simply witness them, I really began to see the true insanity of the stories we tell ourselves on repeat. We tell these stories to ourselves about the past and the future when these are just stories we tell ourselves. The past and the future don't exist other than in your mind. We try to compare ourselves to others when all this does is really just distract us from the present moment. You can't be truly in the present moment when you're judging every single thing you see, every single thing that you do. When you stop judging others, you completely rob your thoughts of the power they have over you. You give these negative, judgmental thoughts so much more energy the more you believe them to be true. You're basically feeding them energy with your attention, with your awareness. Instead of believing every single thought that comes into your mind, positive or negative, try taking a step back, looking at the thought from a more objective or non-judgmental view. This is a habit that really takes a while to develop. I know it did for me, but with consistency and practice and patience, it becomes a lot easier over time, and the results are really just amazing. This is the best practice through meditation, as I'll always say, that if you've never meditated before, it's extremely hard at first. Your mind's going to be racing a million miles per hour. You won't be able to control anything that's going on inside of your mind, but that's not really the point of meditation. The point is to understand that you're not in control and to simply witness and just have no judgment, because you're usually resisting your thoughts all the time. You're always in full reaction mode, and when you can really witness non-judgmentally, that's when you start to rob your thoughts of the power and take the power back for yourself. You don't choose the thoughts that come into your mind, but you can choose how you react to them. And the reaction is the most important part. Most of us react immediately, basically on autopilot, with some kind of emotional charge to the thoughts in our mind. And when you can really move beyond this judgment, you start to experience the true beauty of life. The benefits of practice being non judgmental are really life changing. It's not only do you stop judging others and projecting your morality and ethics onto them, which you're basically making up because not everybody has the same morality and ethics, but you also stop judging yourself. And I'm a person who's always been very hard on myself, and I've slowly started to release this self judgment and simply be who I am and realize that who I am is perfect in this moment. I'm always whole, you are always whole. And you can't change how you acted in a past situation. You can learn the lesson that you made from a mistake that you made, but if you're going to keep repeating the story in your mind, trying to make yourself a victim, all it's going to do is make yourself more angry or more sad, or just keep blaming yourself and giving your power away to your thoughts, which aren't even real. There's no sane reason to keep playing a situation on your head and repeat and berate yourself for making a mistake. All this does, again, is make you feel down, make you feel unworthy. So take your power back from your thoughts by slowly letting go of judgment. Over time, you'll see a huge difference in how you perceive yourself and others. The third thing that clogs your soul is imbalance. The imbalance going on in the outer world right now is a direct reflection of the imbalance within each of us. The large majority of us still believes in the lies that the ego feeds us on a daily basis. I mean, they're definitely tasty, these illusions, these stories they tell us, but we want to believe our thoughts because we're afraid of the divine silence underneath them. We want some type of noise to kind of keep us distracted from the present moment, from really experiencing our true selves. We want to make more money, to buy things, to impress people that we don't really care about. But for some reason, we care what they think about us. We want to impose our will on them and kind of force them to view us as perfect. But here's a new flash. Nobody is perfect. If you were perfect, you wouldn't be here on this earth right now. We're all here to learn and get better. When you start to understand and love your imperfections, you give way to the effortless flow of love in life, which is really all there is. When you experience this effortless flow of life, you stop clinging to the false illusion of control over the outside world, which society has basically been built upon over the past 5,000 years. Throughout history, we've tried to control our environment, but all that's done is really damage the earth and ourselves. Mastering and controlling yourself is far more beneficial and helpful to self-love and inner peace, kind of harmony in the entire world, than controlling other people. You'll never be able to control other people, that's the truth, but you'll be able to control yourself if you really work on yourself. And this all starts with training your mind. Training your mind, at least I believe, is the most important thing you can do to maintain more balance and feel centered in your true self. As I'll always say, meditation is a great way to train your mind and exercise control, even if it's only for 3 minutes a day. Consistency is the most important factor. The results really accumulate over time. Meditating for 3 minutes every single day is going to be far more beneficial than meditating once a week for 20 minutes. It's not about the ego. It's about starting slowly, building this habit. It took me a while building from 5 seconds. The first time I meditated, I could do it for 5 seconds before I thought I was going to go crazy. Then 10 seconds, 30 seconds, then a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It's all about the journey. It's all about building this skill, building this habit. The longer you can meditate, the more you consistently practice, the more you'll see your mind and life change. Everything will start to become more calm on the inside and on the outside. I really can't stress this enough, the importance of meditation. It's really funny how the hardest thing to do is simply sit and do nothing. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to give me a like if you liked the video or not. And subscribe if you want to see more videos. I'm going to be making them 3 times a week as usual. Remember, be kind to yourself, and peace. Have a great day.